Hello. Well, all right. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Winthrop Votes the Issues. I
Tuesday
am
night edition.
yes, the Tuesday night edition. I'm Todd Sacco, aka Les Nessman, your host,
Johnny Fever.
with my with my co-host, best producer in all of the world of Facebook, Scotty McLean.
That's-
So we have a guest tonight, don't we, Scott?
Yeah. We have a guest, Paul Caruccio. He's a Republican state Senate candidate for a write-in, and we'll be bringing him on, and we're going to get him the votes he needs, the write-ins he needs to get on the ballot. But we'll talk about that a little later. You got anything to start off? I have a couple things. You got a couple things?
Yeah, why not? I wanted to
Yours is
let
more of an
everybody.
issue thing, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so let me give you my lightweight stuff.
Okay, go lightweight. Go
Yeah.
lightweight.
You can't follow up some heavy duty with a
It's not that
lightweight
heavy,
stuff.
but it's heavier than yours.
It is. It's much heavier. So as our wonderful Facebook goes, there's always haters and negative people, and as I say, Facebook groups eventually turn into giant garbage cans. Just saying, right? I think you're all on board with that. So recently, this weekend, I guess you call them. I'm not going to say troll. I'm not going to say troll.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not.
Too easy?
So I got into a little back and forth with this guy, Todd McKay.
Todd. Todd. He's the same name as me.
What is up with you, Todds? Right? I'm going to just finish. Let me start that off. And we're waiting for people to come in, so I got a minute to tell the story. So they love him, and just like the guy, when we're only, 15 episodes into this live stream, right? Haven't been around that long. I think we're doing some pretty good stuff. So they love attacking the live stream. It really does crack me up. What are your stats? What are your analytics? How many people are looking? How many people are watching? Blah, blah. It's always the same. And you guys get on there, and all you do is bitch and moan, and you have no solutions. See, that's the thing. We're not here to give solutions. We don't have all the answers. From the beginning, this show was brought on for transparency. See, they think that we should be debating and coming up with solutions. Well, we're finding the stuff that the voters and the people in Winthrop didn't know about. But now they will know about it. They found out about some things. That's why we do this show, for transparency. We're going to talk about every issue the town has to offer down the road when it presents itself to us. We can cover a few items at a time. We're doing our due diligence. Todd is boots on the ground, and I have people on my side contacting me with information. So we're working it. We're working these things to bring transparency to Winthrop politics and now the Winthrop school system. Things that parents and residents of Winthrop might not have known are going on, we're going to bring them up. Now, if people choose to complain about that and say, well, you're showing a problem, but you're not showing a solution, well, you guys are part of the solution. That's why we're bringing it to you.
That's right. All politics is local.
All
It can help.
politics starts at the local level. Right?
That one. Yep.
You'll get it one of these times.
When I grow up.
But again, this show is not. We're not coming on and telling you the answers. We're not those people. We're not preaching to you what the answer is, and you should listen. No, we're telling you there's problems. We're showing you things that you might not have seen.
Why doesn't, Todd's the keyboard guy. Why doesn't he call in? The phone number's there. He knows when the show's on every Monday night at 8. Call in, yell at us. We want to be
I
picked
invited
up.
them on the show, just like you invited that guy, John Bentley.
Yep.
They won't come on. He thinks it's like, that would be like Biden going on Fox. Well, you might be a little smarter than Biden.
I hope.
Okay.
I hope.
You might be a little smarter than him. But everybody that's come on, we've had people that are liberal, some progressives. Have we ever disrespected anybody that came on this show?
Not to my
knowledge. If he wants to come on and talk and present things to us, we're not going to ambush him. We don't do that. But he won't.
Nope.
He won't. He wants to see our numbers. How many people are we reaching in our whole whopping 15 episodes that we have? So again, just to cap this, we're not here to present answers to you people. We're here to present stuff that you might not know is going on. We're here to present transparency to the people of Winthrop, to the viewers of this show. And you can attack us all you want. I'm not going.
You present information. That's how solutions are brought about.
Yeah.
And on that front, as a segue, unless do you have anything else on that?
No. I just want to.
Okay. So just to refresh everybody's memory, I had been on a mission to get onto one of those, I guess I'll call them diversity training webinars through the And Still We Rise group. And I was successful, and I was able to get on. And I guess I'll just summarize, and I'm probably going to take some crap for this, but my suspicion all along is it's more of the same old dribble with regards to the multi levels of racism. It's just stuff we've all heard before. And maybe I could only stay on for 45 minutes. Maybe I didn't stay on long enough, but I feel like if we keep butting, it's the same stuff we're always butting heads on, right? Like the way history's written, all that sort of stuff. But one of the things that one of the moderators brought up was an examples of internalized racism. And her example was, maybe I might not like the color of my skin. Now, I don't understand. And I said, so explain to me, and I want to be fair here. I said, explain to me how that has something to do with me or a white person. And she was good. She was good enough to answer. It didn't get ugly is what I mean by that, which I'm very grateful for, because I think that's a fair question. I'd want to understand. And I did want to understand. And she said, well, they did this. Do you ever hear of the doll test, Scott? The doll test?
Show me where Uncle Jimmy touched you.
I'm not talking about law enforcement.
Oh, that's the only doll test I know.
No.
Not that that's funny.
That's right. It's not meant to be funny, and it's not.
No,
they line up. I guess the dolls look exactly. The two sets of dolls look exactly like. One's white with blue hair, blonde eyes. One's brown, and they send the kids in, and they test how many times they'll pick. It seemed an overly large amount of black girls picked the white doll versus the black dolls. So like they identified more with the white doll. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but to me, that's deep stuff. And I don't think the general population is going to want to get involved in that to try to figure out how we get along better. So anyway, I think it's exactly what I expected. It's kind of brainwashing stuff. And if you don't agree with it, it doesn't matter. The curriculum's going to continue the way. It's not a moving conversation. It's a pretty planned out convo.
Right.
So anyway.
Is my volume okay?
Well, you could be a little louder. I've been playing with mine.
Oh, what's going on here?
And maybe there's someone will type. Maybe one of our 3 viewers will type in and tell you if they can hear
you know what? Hold on. I'm going to get it right now.
going on. I was on. Now I'm booming.
What were you
I was on default. I was on my crappy computer microphone. Now I'm really amped up.
Okay, how am I? Did I change it all?
No, you sound fine. You sound fine. Does mine sound good now?
Yeah, you sound much better.
Yeah. I got peeps. I got peeps that let me know these things. No one leaves me hanging.
Excellent.
That's right.
I see the friend of the show is out there.
I'm low. Wendy. Oh wait. Okay. Wendy. Friend of the show.
You're right.
You mean? Do you mean that microphone wise, or do you mean that like
socioeconomic?
Personally, yeah. Is that are you taking a shot at me, Wendy?
Uh-oh. Don't trigger him again. You know what happens.
Shots fired. Shots fired. So yeah, anyway. Fixed it.
Awesome.
All right. That's great. Okay. Leave me alone. So do you want to would you want to introduce our guest tonight?
Yeah, we've got so let's bring on Paul Caruccio. He's the I don't know what his title. What is he? The Winthrop Town Republican Committee. He's the chairperson, I believe, chief executive. He can tell us when he comes on. He is doing a write-in campaign for Republican State Senate. We thought it'd be a good idea to talk to him. More the merrier, and especially a different ticket. So essentially, if he got on the ballot, he would be running against the winner of the Edwards D'Ambrosio race. So without so let's bring him on here, and he can tell us all about his ideas and work.
Good evening, Paul.
Howdy. Thanks for
having me, Paul. Is this thing on?
Thank you to everybody on Facebook who's watching. Good to see you.
Yeah. So, Paul, why don't you just make it super simple. Give us a little rundown about what you're about, what you're doing, how you're going to go about it, how you want us to help, that sort of thing.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm passionate about good government, but I really don't like politics very much. And I am chairman of the Winthrop Republican Committee, and I've been that for maybe 8 or 10 years. And my goal is to see basically democracy and good government. So we have a special election coming up for the state Senate seat. And I am running for that, although to be honest with you, that isn't what I set out to do, was to run for the state Senate or run for another campaign. And I was happy to play support in finding other good candidates that might, be interested in running. And as it turns out, nobody would put their hat in the ring. And I did discuss this with many people throughout the district, and very qualified, ambitious people. But quite frankly, a lot of people are a little bit afraid of running.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's interesting. So is that what it is? Is it fear, or is there any other reason?
Yeah, no. Some people were afraid. Some people felt that it would hurt their business. Some people thought that some of the things that they had set up, that had said on social media in the past and were conservative, would come back and haunt them, and it would reduce their business. Some people couldn't take certain jobs that might be state related and hold a position. And there were some people who were just afraid. I found one gentleman, he actually was a Moroccan immigrant. He's a U.S. citizen. He's been here for years, and he's a hardworking small business owner. And oddly enough, he happens to have an Italian immigrant as a wife. And he was very excited about the prospect of participating in democracy. And actually, his vision of government and politics was that this is the pinnacle of everything. And he was almost going to do that. And then his wife was afraid of some of the consequences. So that's an unfortunate state. So the result was that there was nobody who was going to run for this race. And to be honest with you, I think without democracy, we don't have much of a country left. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about you two or anybody out there, but I don't know. Can you live in America without democracy? I
No.
can't.
No.
I can't. So I did make the plunge and decide that I'm going to run. And although I may have been a reluctant candidate, I certainly am not reluctant in my passion for making sure that we have good government, we have democracy, we have exceptionalism, and we have patriotism. And those are some of the things that I just promote naturally.
So it's interesting what you said about the person who didn't want to run out of fear. You said he's Moroccan
Yes.
and his wife
Actually,
is an Italian immigrant.
that's correct.
Who is she afraid of?
Well,
The Democrats?
I
The
actually,
liberals?
which I know the gentleman a lot better than the wife, but they're not really familiar with the process. And I think that, you know, when you turn on the news, some of the things you see in the news are quite shocking. It's not things that I, you know, thought we'd experience in this country, and yet some of this is happening.
And what's interesting is she's an immigrant. She's a foreign immigrant, naturally. And she's afraid that the liberals or the Democrats are going to put backlash on her and her family because he's running as a Republican. That's the only thing I get out of that. And I could be wrong. I'm purely speculating, but that's how it sounds to me. If she's afraid of repercussion. She's not going to get repercussion from conservatives or Republicans. She's going to get it from the other side, the people that are inclusive and diversified.
Well, I think that's probably an accurate summary. However, let me just state to be accurate and for the record that
Yes.
this gentleman is not a Republican. He's an independent.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know that I happen to be chairman of the with the Republican committee, but I'm not necessarily an advocate for Republicans alone.
Right.
I advocate for democracy. I advocate for patriotism. I advocate for exceptionalism, because that's what America is. And that's why people they flock to this country from all over the world. In your introduction, I just have to mention, you spoke about equity training and, you know, getting it. Well, you know, we're not based on equity. We're based on equality. And every day,
Different things. Yep.
I spend most of my free time in the inner city. Well, actually, with most people who English is not their language, and they didn't come here for equity. And if you speak to them about equity, and when I talk to them, this is actually the gym that I use. When I speak to them, we was talking in the locker room. You know, I speak about my conservative values quite freely. They endorse the same policies almost uniformly because they came here for the United States, America, the opportunity.
Well, if you notice, it used to be equality. Somewhere along the line, they changed it to equity. It used to be about equality in this country. All of a sudden, again, they like twisting things and changing things to fit their narrative. And this is me speaking. And all of a sudden, it went from equality to equity.
Yes.
Right? So they change it up. They move the goalposts constantly.
Well, you know, I have to say that the liberal left wants to manipulate the language for their own benefit. And when I started hearing equality myself, and this was just a short time ago, I was thinking it's a synonym for, equity. I was thinking they were using it as a synonym for equality. And of course, that's not the case at all.
No. No.
And I think that if we focus on, well, I think people have an agenda. I think
Right.
the people who are here, you know, everyday folk, wherever they came from, that's what they're after. They're after an equal opportunity. They're after equal job opportunities, equal education opportunities, equal access. And that's the same thing I promote. That's what America is all about.
So
So-
Paul, sorry,
Go
Scott.
ahead,
So
Todd.
Paul,
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Paul, so if you have any, should you get elected? Should you get elected
Yeah,
twice, right?
you know
win the
something?
primary, and then what are you going to do?
Yeah, let me say this. I'm a writing candidate, and if somebody wants to vote for me, they have to write me in. Now, I would never advise somebody before this to execute a write-in campaign because it's insane. It's easy enough to, not easy, but it's certainly possible to go out and do it in the normal channel in which one does it. But under these circumstances, things didn't go exactly right, even though we did have a signature campaign and we actually qualified, but because of a turn of events, it didn't happen. So what that means at this point is I need only 300 people in this entire Senate district who want to see an alternative voice on the ticket to write me in. So that's only 300. So why do they want to vote, or write me in? Why do they want to do that? Well, there's a lot of reasons. And the reasons for voting for me are probably, even as opposed to the platform that I would have, are really compelling. Without my candidacy, if 300 people don't write me in, we would have no need for an election. So we'll have a primary, we'll have no election. So that's not democracy. The other thing you won't, I'm sorry if you can go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well,
But I do want to jump
you-
on that when you get
You
done.
won't have an option. I mean, in order to have government, you need to have an option. So you need to have two sides, somebody who expresses one view and somebody the other. So even if that whoever loses, if they get a large percentage of the vote, at least it sends a message. So I'm sorry, Todd, go ahead.
No, it's your time, buddy. But I want to ask. I mean, look, I'm agree with you, but I'm a little perplexed here because running for the sake of running,
No,
just to have a competition, or running to get something done. Did I miss
Can
it?
I jump in
No,
on
no.
this? Paul, let me
Yes,
jump in for
go
1
ahead.
second, Paul.
Absolutely.
I said this to Rob DeMarco. I said this during the elections for the town council and the school committee. Nobody should run unopposed. No one should ever run unopposed. If there's any principle in this, it's at least there's two candidates in this election. Like Rob DeMarco said, well, nobody ran against me. Well, that shouldn't happen. That should not happen. There always should be a second person. I'm sorry, Paul, go on.
No, that's okay. No, there absolutely should be, and that's what it's about. If you don't have two people running, you don't have democracy. But no, Todd, I'm glad you bring that up because it sounds like just running because I like the competition or what the hell, and that's not the case at all because it's not really something that I needed to do, and I have a great life the way it is. The reason I'm running is because we need to have the option at the ballot. And I am so passionate about these issues. I don't have to be the person in that seat. I could support that person, but if nobody throws a hat in the ring, I'll be darned if we lose an opportunity to express those and to go after those, those policies. The other thing is, if you look at the two candidates in this race on the Democrat side, I mean, the talk around Winthrop, of course, is that, well, yeah, Anthony's less liberal than the other one. Well, not if you read
Not really.
Anthony's documents. No, you read his website. He's not. I think they're both intelligent, personable, and eloquent people, and they were able to couch their political policies in a way that sound more benign, but in fact, it's not. And the other thing about the unique thing about Massachusetts is we are a one-party state, right? So at the Senate in Massachusetts, we have 37 Republican senators. We have 37 Democrat senators, and we have only 3 Republicans. So if either one of the Democrat candidates do get elected, they're not going to change any policies. They're going to move the state even further left. but you're not going to get any policy change because it's one big Democrat club up there. You're not going to get good government until you get some competition, some balance on the ticket. Same thing in the House of Representatives. In the House of Representatives, you have 130 reps that are Democrat and only 30 that are Republican. So
Yikes.
not only don't you get a good give and take, you don't get balance that balanced government gives you, but you don't get the transparency, which is another word that you brought up earlier today. Because they recently voted on transparency, probably 6 or 7 months ago in the House, and they voted not to let the public know what's going on. So if you're another Democrat up in the House or the Senate, you're not gonna like go against the party that's overwhelming. So in order to get even transparency, you need a opposing voice up there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There always should be an opposition in politics.
Yeah.
Always.
So,
Do you
yeah, you know,
go?
the other thing is, if you look at the platforms and the issues of the two Democrat candidates, I would be the opposite. They're both for open borders and immigration and open borders. And I am so against the open borders issue. We're America, we're a country of laws. The open borders are hurting the low income, the illegal immigrants, and actually those people that the Democrats claim they're most concerned about, those vulnerable amongst us. That's what's hurting. Now, speaking about the gym, I was at the gym and, just talking, and there was a gentleman, I don't know what country he was from, if he was Hispanic or from another country, and he had a very, very heavy accent, which I couldn't pinpoint. And he says at the airport, he says, they're filling the jobs with people who can't even speak English. And some of the legal immigrants really don't have the opportunity now. And he's really, really upset about that. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. Now, I didn't experience that personally, but that was a firsthand account that how unabated illegal immigration, which both the Democrat candidates, I'm sure, endorse because they're for what they will couch it, they'll say humanitarian immigration. So it's not legal immigration. It's,
It's
I
yeah.
guess go ahead. Go ahead, Scott. I'll wait.
No, it's go on, Todd. I just had a quick.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying there, Paul. I guess let's bring it back a little bit, if I could. I tried to have a discussion with Lydia at a Friday night football game about public housing. Just based upon what I've read about their public housing stance. I'd be curious to know where you stand on public housing, what you might do that's different in order to, because listen, regardless of how we feel about public housing as it stands today, it needs reform of some kind. And so I'm because we're overspending. We're overspending in certain areas over there. And we're keeping people together in these areas that are at zip codes, as an example, that are not necessarily the best school systems. And I think plus affordable housing to begin with the gentrification of East Boston, Winthrop's on its way, Revere, give us a little bit of light into what you're thinking in terms of helping with that challenge.
to be honest with you, the best thing you can do to help with the housing crisis is get people good jobs. Support businesses, support, and allow businesses to prosper so they can provide those jobs. Now, we have like $4 billion of COVID release money that on Beacon Hill, they're spending on pet projects. When a lot of these businesses are being saddled with very high unemployment insurance costs because of the COVID epidemic. So the way you deal with a housing crisis is you raise people, and you raise them through good quality, exceptional education. You do that through fostering, companies and good jobs so people can rise up, and climb that ladder to success. And that's the best way to do it. There's never enough money. And if you speak to a liberal, it's simply a matter of, oh, we're just going to spend more money. We're going to spend more money. We mean more resources. Well, I agree. We should put as many resources as we can to all these good causes, because there's not a cause that isn't good. The problem is we're burdening the taxpayer. Massachusetts is the first or second highest per capita. We have the highest per capita debt in the nation. And people are fleeing the state. So they flee the state, and with the state, they take their tax payments. And so you just perpetuate a crisis. So you lose your businesses, you lose your high income people, and they flock to states like Florida. And that's where most of the Massachusetts residents are going.
Stay out.
Yeah, well, there you go. And the ones that aren't going to Florida, the second
You don't want them.
highest place is New Hampshire.
Yep.
Now, people aren't going to New Hampshire because the weather's better, like they go to Florida. They're going there because the cost of living is less. So we have to run an efficient government. We can't, we need fiscal responsibility from Beacon Hill. We have to reduce the burden on businesses and taxpayers. And we have to make sure that they climb that ladder to success. And that's what's going to ultimately improve. That's a long-term view of improving housing.
What other, aside from housing, what are the other important issues to you in this race?
Well, one of the most important issues to me is it's election integrity. Now, as soon as I say that, the liberals say, "Oh, you're a denier. You don't believe." It has nothing to do
They love
with the
that.
last presidential race. The reality is, without election integrity, there is absolutely no democracy. And, polls show that probably 50 or more percent of the people in this country have a losing faith in the integrity of our elections. Now, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, but without that, we have nothing. So, the Beacon Hill, incidentally, and most people don't even know, they extended mail-in voting. Now, mail-in voting is one of those areas where errors can happen. Let's just call it errors. And there's inefficiencies. So years ago, when we had an election, we would know at 8 o'clock in the evening who the winner was.
Yep.
We still don't know who won the Iowa primary.
Yep.
Back in 2018, I think.
It's
or
amazing.
19.
Yep.
So that's exactly right. Nobody knows who won the Iowa
Yep.
primary. So we need
Something's
to go
wrong.
back to we're actually paper ballots. We need voter ID at the polls. And people think, well, that you can't have absentee ballots. Well, you can still have absentee ballots as part of the system. But we need to go back to paper ballots, preferably same day voting and voter ID. Absolutely. That's a huge one.
Right. I agree 100%. I think that Democrats don't want voter IDs. They want open borders because I personally think they don't really care about these people coming in. They count them as votes. And if they're coming in undocumented and they want to vote, Democrats want them to just be able to vote. But remember who let you in. Just go up and vote. You don't have to present an ID. Just tell them who you want to vote for. They'll show you how to use the machine. That's it's insane. So, Paul, if somebody wants to write you in, what is the process they should do when they get to the voting station, when they get to the polls?
The proper way of doing it is to put my name, address, in town there. So it would be Paul Caruccio, Ingleside Ave, Winthrop. And then you circle the oval. Anybody who would like a little sticker, they're a little hard to manage, but we will deliver them, to their doors if they like. They just have to email us at caruccio2021@gmail.com. And one of my committee will drop off a sticker and a little instruction sheet. It's simple. So you can put the sticker on, or you can simply write Paul Caruccio Winthrop. And as long as the voter intent, and fill in the oval, as long as the voter intent is to vote for me, the vote will be counted for me.
Is
And
this
again,
correct at the bottom? Whoa, what did I do here?
there you go. There you go.
Wow.
If you email us there, we'll drop off a sticker. Or
All right.
you can write it
So-
in, Paul Caruccio Winthrop.
What if a Democrat wants to? They're not happy with either one, and they want to.
I think the Democrats can choose the candidate they want, and a Democrat will not be counted. If you vote with a Democrat ballot, you vote my name, it won't be counted. So
So they have to ask for a Republican ballot.
Yes, in fact, that's a good point. So independents can vote for me.
Yep.
And Republicans can vote for me. But an independent needs to pull a Republican ballot. So they need to go to the poll and say, I'd like a Republican ballot, and they'll get a ballot that looks like this, and it will have no names on it at all. I don't know if you can see that, but there's no names.
Right.
So you just write my name in there and circle the oval, and that's
But
it.
if Democrats don't like their options and they want to vote for you, they can register as an independent, vote, and then go back and register if they want as a Democrat again.
If I'm not sure if the deadline is still available for that, Todd. Do you know? 'Cause there are certain deadlines.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not really up on that. And the best thing you can do, if you're wondering if that's something you can do, is call the town clerk's office. I think it's 846-1742. I think that's their number. And the woman at the town clerk's office is very, very good. It's very courteous and very helpful. And she'll let you know. She'll be able to answer that question.
What number Ingleside Ave, Paul?
74.
74.
Yeah,
It was a good year.
yeah. So
I was 11.
if people are against critical race theory, if they don't like this illegal immigration, if they think democracy is about having options and they want to see different views on the ballot, which is what America is built on, if they want someone who's fiscally responsible and they want somebody who thinks that he wants to run the education system by standards and testing, and they want people to excel, then they'll have an option, and please write me in.
So you only need 300 write-in votes on a Republican ballot to get on the primary ballot and face
Exactly.
off against Lydia or D'Ambrosio,
Right,
right?
right, exactly. So I think that's an important thing to have. You never know what comes out of an election.
Yeah.
And without having two candidates, it may be the person that you like the least, without me on the ballot, will walk right into that seat without any contest. And that's bad for everybody. And it certainly is not a democratic process.
This is definitely a David versus Goliath task that you're taking on, Paul, and
Yeah.
I respect it, man. I respect it. It's I think it's an extreme long shot that this happens, considering where you are now. If you were down in Florida, you'd have a better chance. But stranger things have happened. I'm not being a naysayer here. I think it's definitely a task that you're stepping up to the plate.
I read an article yesterday that they had said that in the city of Boston, Boston's part of the district, it's not the whole district, but in the city of Boston, unenrolled now outnumber Democrats. So forgive me if I get the numbers a little wrong, but there's about 229,000 unenrolled. And there's like 224,000 Democrats. And there's like 20,000 Republicans. So am I naive to think that I'm not outnumbered? Sure, I'm outnumbered. But the important thing is, really, even if you're a Democrat, you're going to get the same policies. Only one of these candidates is going to move the state a little more left, but you're going to get the same policies with or without either one of them. The only way you're going to get anything different is with a conservative on the ballot. Now, I don't need to be a senator. I don't need to be a politician. I don't aspire to be that. I just have a desire for good government and for democracy. And I have a passion that I'm willing to fight for it. So if anybody out there has a passion the next time around and they want to fight for it, well, come see me because I will support you as well.
There you go. Todd?
Yeah, I echo those sentiments. I think you're doing a good thing for us, Paul. Regardless of how it turns out, it's admirable. It's important. Democracy matters. I'm very disheartened at how things operate in the state at that level. And I learned that a couple of elections ago when I was helping the former state senator from Winthrop with his election. And, the deals, the handshakes, the I won't if you do, and that sort of thing. That's why it's almost as bad as gerrymandering. If anybody's watching or if this video gets out, if anybody thinks it's only the Republicans who change their districts and are changing the rules and all, it's not. It's everybody. It's just a power grab.
Well, I guess you kind of reminded me that there's a lot of money in this race. I mean, I see TV ads. I mean, every day I'm getting at least 2 full color, large size flyers. So one has to also wonder, so what's the end game? So, why? I'm really not looking for lifetime in politics. I'm not looking to move up. I'm not looking for any special deals. Look for good government. And I think that, we have an obligation. Today's the anniversary of D-Day, 80th anniversary. We have an obligation to those people who died fighting that war, that we just maintain what they died to give us. And we have an obligation to those that are going to come after us, that they have that same advantage. And we have an obligation for those people who come to this country looking for that opportunity and they flocking here. We have an obligation to maintain that for them. And that's what it's all about. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Paul,
go ahead, Todd.
I said I thank you, Paul.
Yeah, well, I thank you guys, and I thank the Facebook audience for putting up with my raspy voice. But I think what you folks do here is very good because you get information on this site and from your program that isn't easily available otherwise, and it gives me insight. And when I can remember to tune in at the right time, I enjoy your show.
There's always the after views, buddy. There's always the after views.
That's true.
That's the key to live streaming. Everyone thinks it needs to be like, oh, how many people do you get watching the live stream? It's the after views. We get most of our views. So
watch them and share them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Paul, if you ever want to come on and promote anything for your committee, let us know. You're more than welcome to come on. If you have an event coming up, in the future or anything like that.
Well,
feel free to come on and
stay pretty active, and we will do that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
I want to thank you both. I enjoyed it this evening.
Thank you, Paul. All right, buddy.
Good luck.
Good luck, man.
All righty.
300. He only needs 300.
300. That's it.
All right, man. Thanks, Paul.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
300.
It just needs 300. That's it, man.
That's just to get him on the ballot. That's all he needs, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think like if people aren't clear on how to do it when they get to the poll, ask one of the poll workers. Make sure you get it on a Republican ballot. If you put it on a Democratic ballot, it's not going to count. And that's an easy mistake to make. People think you just go in and write it on a ballot. But 300, let's get them 300. I always say nobody should run unopposed. That's not good. That's not good. Like, what if a president ran unopposed? Not that would ever happen, but it would be, whoa.
Yeah, it would be bad.
But we're talking local level politics, and it all starts here. All starts at this level. So, So once again, I guess my audio was a little muted at the beginning of the show. I just want to say this show is here to bring transparency to the local government and the local school system, and we're going to be getting into public works. We're going to bring transparency to everything you want to hear. We are not here, or we never claim to come on here and solve problems. That's not, we will present problems, and we will be more than glad to help in any solution that people might have. But you can't have a solution if you don't know there's a problem. We're here to tell you there's a problem.
Yeah, let's put that question back on Todd. What is your solution? If you got one, instead of being a keyboard warrior, come on and share it with us.
Well, yeah. We're going to get those people. We're not everybody likes us. Not everybody likes you. Not everybody likes me.
There's still.
I think more people like me than they like you, though.
We'll see.
I'll just say that. No, I'm only kidding, buddy.
It could be true.
It might not be. So we're not here to be problem solvers. We would love to help in any solutions. But you can come at us all you want. The Todd McKays and the Johnny, what's his name? Johnny Bentley's, and they think we're up here just rabble rousing and bitching and moaning. And I think we're coming up with some good stuff. And we, like I said, 15 episodes in, maybe. So and that's gonna happen.
Just for the record, by the way, there was a inclusion commission or whatever it is meeting tonight. I don't know how. I think the last time I checked the website for meetings was Thursday.
It wasn't posted.
It wasn't. They must have posted it on Friday, so that must mean Friday and Mondays. Wait, that must mean the Friday and Monday were the 24 hours. But see, how can I know? I couldn't make it tonight because I had other things planned.
Well, plus Friday isn't Town Hall closed on Friday?
Town Hall is closed on Friday, so Oh, Kurt says it's tomorrow. Oh, I could be wrong. It's tomorrow. Okay,
Kurt coming through, buddy.
Yep, thank you. Now I can go. I'm excited.
I think you should, buddy. I think you should.
I'm gonna go. Oh, if I gotta
live stream it,
right?
No, just bring out your phone, put on go to Facebook Live on your phone, and live stream it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, why not? There's people that record these things. You've recorded in the past.
I have.
The town council meeting about the flag and all that. Just put it on. They can't tell you no. It's public. It's public. A forum, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, that's. I think we're going to do that. What time is the meeting?
I think it's at 6.
It's at 6.
Yeah, it's pretty sure it's at 6. So if we live stream it, it'll be saved, and then we can replay it.
And where is the meeting?
Harvey Room, 6 p.m. Harvey Room.
6 p.m. We're going to put that on. We'll put that on the Winthrop Votes Facebook group that we hope doesn't turn into a gigantic garbage can.
Hi, Cliffy.
Look we have the Facebook group and we love the Facebook group, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Trash can.
I always say this, and I know we got a little time. Paul was a good interview. Paul came, but now we got a little time to kill. I'm part of a, like it's called Let's Eat, South Florida. It's a food Facebook group.
No way.
Restaurants. I found one of the best. That's where I found the restaurant with the giant veal chop. Right. I mean, this is a food Facebook group, and they fight. It's like, it's food, people. Like, the waiter didn't give me good service. I'm like, inevitably, Winthrop Votes is going to go that route. I just
think
it is.
Nothing going on in life if you're on Facebook fighting about your service at a restaurant.
It's amazing. Facebook groups inevitably turn into gigantic garbage cans. So tomorrow night, live stream at 6:00. You can live stream it from the Winthrop Votes group, Facebook group. You go on there and then live stream it, and that's going to be very interesting to see. They're going to know, of course, by the time you get there. And I guarantee you, one of them says, "You can't record us. You can't. We don't give you permission."
Really?
So have the law ready. Have the rules and regulations ready, because they evidently don't follow them by not producing minutes to their meetings. That might be a question you can ask them.
Well, that is
where can I get past minutes of your meetings?
They might have them, because I did do a FOIA request. I haven't seen them yet, so that's the question I'm gonna ask. I want to see your minutes from some meetings regarding prepping for the protest,
The rally, the protest.
Yeah, the protesting. Can't be doing that.
But remember, Todd, be nice, because they are very, very tense people. Very upset. They get upset easy.
Trigger alert.
I kid. I know somebody's going to say something. I know.
I
I don't think there's some people out there that don't get my humor, I guess.
No. Well, you're a scary dude.
No, I'm a nice. Where's the Harvey room?
The Harvey room is in the basement of the town hall. If you go down Herman Street, crossing where the police station is now. I don't know if you know, it moved to the old post office. Where the old post. Yeah, so that's the police station now.
I've been with them a couple times since they did that, buddy.
All right, just listen. It's cold up
but
here.
I appreciate the logistic lesson.
You get a little tootsie about the cold. I know. I get it.
I do now. I don't like it.
Me neither.
So it's downstairs at the town hall, right?
Yep.
Where the old police station was?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know that well. I know that room. I knew that.
Mr. McLean, just sit there and be quiet, please.
More. I know what the cells look like too.
Yeah.
But I ended up good. I ended up okay.
Funny
ended up
you
okay.
law enforcement.
Yeah, right. All right, buddy. I think that about wraps up. So let's one more time. If you want to get in touch with Paul Caruccio, if you have any questions for him, you can email him at Caruccio, Caruccio 2021 at gmail.com. If you want a sticker, you can email him and ask for this for a sticker.
Mail it to your house or drop it off.
Yeah, they'll mail it. They'll drop it off. And when you do the write-in, and we'll put this on the Winthrop Votes Facebook group, it's Paul Caruccio, 74 Ingleside Road, right?
That's what Ingleside Ave. That's what he said.
Ingleside Ave.
There's some potential controversy about that, but who knows?
Okay.
It's up to him.
All right.
Clear it up.
And so I think next week, what's the date next week?
12th, Monday the 12th.
All right, so we're gonna do 2 more shows, and we're gonna take the Christmas weekend off.
Yes.
And maybe we'll squeeze one in before New Year's. We'll see. Depends on if we got something good.
Yep.
If we have something good, let's see. Yeah. So other than that, everybody, well, Todd, you do it. You do the takeout, buddy. Do the takeout.
I'm going to take us home. Before I do that, any viewers, listeners, people watching the replays, if you've got something that you want us to investigate, PM us, private message. Give us, we need all the eyes and ears we can get. All politics starts at the local level, and you need to get involved if you are concerned about what's happening in the community, or if you want to make these shows boring, which is fine by me. If we have nothing to talk about, that'll be a good thing.
That's a good way to look at it.
Right?
That's a good way to look at it.
We've got nothing to talk about, then okay, I guess mission accomplished, right?
Yeah.
But transparency can never stop. So, everybody's got to believe that serves. They got to believe that someone's watching them. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Well, the diversity, inclusion, and community relations people they'll know that tomorrow night.
Yes, they will.
And, we're not done. We're going to get somebody else on that commission. And it's just future stuff. So with that, buddy,
Have a
we
great
good?
night. Yeah, we're good. Have a good night, everyone. And thank
All
you
right.
once again. Share,
We'll
share.
We'll be back on our regular time next Monday night. Have a great week. Have a great week.